Joey Cabeceras with NOCA Baseball. I'm here with Brattain, Brattain Sports Performance. We're putting these videos together for our winter training programs. You know, they're independent of each other, but we work well together. We talk all the time, sometimes probably too much about different players. And I'll get a call at midnight from this guy, hey, I saw something in a kid today. So we thought we'd put these together to let you guys hear and see our processes and also tell you about some of the programs that we do so you have a little more intelligence. Before we go on, if you look below, there should be two links, one to Brattain Sports Performance, one to NOCA Baseball. Again, our winter training programs are starting up in first part of November, and we're signing those up right now. So we're going to go specifically into pitching or arm, and we call this the Reactive Arm Program for us at NOCA. And I'll explain a little bit what we do and how this connects into what Coach Nick does. So we have a lot of different, words up here, and there's different pillars. The bigger ones are movement efficiency. Timing is really big for throwers. Are you deliberate with your movements? When does that deliberate change from just moving to now being on autopilot? Obviously, everybody wants to get into bands, and they think, well, I'll just run out and do bands. Well, not every band exercise is created equal, and not everyone makes sense for you. Plyo care, or what you see below. Med ball throws are really common, but which ones, why do they work, what's too much? Some guys don't do them real well. We get into some sequencing, which is how the body moves along. We use a lot of video analysis for that in the winter. Catch play is just us playing pitch and catch, how seriously we take it. And then we go into a lot of what the Rapsodo data tells us, which is spin and pitch creation. That's specific for how do you spin the ball, why do you spin the ball that way, how do you get better at it. And this is our position player arm. We think it's really important that, especially high school players, have a plan for their high school arm, for their arm as a position player. So these are a lot, but we'll customize what makes sense for each kid. I'll call Nick and go, all right, I got a guy, he struggles here. He struggles with these band movements. And then Nick will take over and tell you what he does to make sure we can shore that whole side up.
So what we do, especially when we're working with pitchers or anything specific to the arm, is first we're going to go through a total body assessment. So I get a better idea of what's going on with the shoulder if I know what's happening at the opposite hip, knee, ankle, things like that. Then we'll do a very specific assessment on the shoulder. So I want to understand standing posture. If we have someone who stands in a military stance, they have very different activation than someone who's in more of an anterior posture. Then we want to see what they look like from a movement standpoint. So specifically the scapula, as I'm going into any type of overhead position, how is the scapula supporting my arm? And so we're going to look at that. Then we're going to build out that program for them. So we're going to talk about how we build the strength in specific areas. We're going to talk about the sequencing piece on how we go through those movements. And one thing that kind of bleeds back and forth between Joey and I is some of the work that he does with bands, med balls, the things that we're doing here within the facility so that we can build the strength and the power or explosiveness for these movements. And then he can really tune in the sequencing, the speed of the movement, and things like that. And that's how we kind of bounce back and forth with, building this athlete, but then also putting them in the proper position to be able to perform.
Yeah, I'll just tell you that these two have to go together. And he'll tell you he works with a lot of different coaches, and he should. Guys who, just like me, but run other clubs or high school coaches, he should absolutely have somebody like this involved. And if you're me, you should have somebody like him involved on any kind of level. But it becomes, how do you translate that information to each other, and how do we translate to the families and the kids? But this will be part of the Reactive Arm Program. Nick's always here. Like I said, look below at the links and call us if you have any questions.